Buongiorno, Melonin, and well met indeed. I am Arake Galadirthan, the head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, and welcome back after a week-long break to Divide and Conquer as we continue on as the Kingdom of Gondor. Now, in the last episode of this, I said that that one was likely to be the penultimate, ergo this one would be the final episode. But some people have requested that I do push on for 50 regions, but I don't think I'm going to. Once we have defeated Umbar, then we will call it a day. But do remember that Umbar now entails Finabel, the 2 regions north of their starting capital, and of course the Isle of Tolfolus, which we are preparing to take from Londgallen. Indeed, I say after a week-long break because I was in Italia. I went to Naples and had a wonderful time. And here I am back now, ready, nourished, and replenished, and refreshed, and ready to tackle the news of the day. Which, of course, I'm not at all. But, in anticipation of where were we last time, well, as I say, Finabel's fallen to Umbar. Khand are reasonably restricted within their region, but we are currently attempting to chase down the region of An-Kadagmir with Captain General Cruion. And I believe we're in end turn. Umbar has a substantial garrison. Our main army, that is probably our nation's best army at the moment, under Aravir, is heading to Ardamir, where Umbar are now rapidly descending upon, so we'll have a major battle there, I believe. In the north, Ramlond is being besieged by Dol Amroth, so they'll get involved soon enough. And as I say, the army that was used to retake the town of Anulond is making its way back to Londgallen, where we'll board the ships and sail for the Isle of Tolfolus. So we're in end turn there. Not much has... Oh, well, I tell you what has not changed is I still haven't thought of an apt replacement for the faction overviews. There is some call to do some videos related to specific things of DaC, such as top 10s or things like that. And I'm currently considering the idea. But first we must defeat Captain Pathan and Zagrakor the Wrathful, whose best units are Belagar archers, the Great Ocean, and Captain Pathan brings Narut and Arus and trash, which I have discussed in previous videos of why Umbar has such trash. The only other thing that I'm thinking of now, which is Hummingbird did counsel me on, and I foolishly rejected his sage counsel, is that we're already thinking of ways to change quite a few of the factions. So the faction overviews are, for many of the factions, going to be even wrong when 2.0 comes out. Which was a mistake on my part, really. I should have just waited. But then if I had waited, I don't know what I would have put up in those gaps. And it was already a year since the last faction overview, so there was already a huge amount to show off. Right, to the battle at hand. I can't remember where any of the reinforcements are coming from, but our army's better than everything they have. So, if we take some form of a hill... It's night time, I'm afraid. I apologise for this. But if we were to ascend any of these surrounding lowlands and try and get at least some height, and then we'll be at least ready. That's the plan. We're going to stick to it. Chuck everyone over there. Don't walk in that formation, please. Yeah, and no one's running away or anything, because you can turn that off immediately, yeah.
The enemy are
perfect.
in reinforcements.
Okay. We'll take this little hillock here with our archers forming the front line. Oh, I tell you what was interesting from E3. I saw a video which was like a recap of E3, which was bloody useful. And from it, of course, the only thing that really caught my eye was, other than Bethesda are now trying again with some form of alternatives to mods. And from what I understand, they release assets that you can buy with like in-game currency to then use in your own mod, which can then be bought with in-game currency. I don't know. I didn't really understand it, and clearly, because many of you will say, no, that's not what it is at all. And maybe I should watch the proper video of what it actually is, but anyway, that's my understanding of it at the moment. But the main thing, of course, is Age of Empires Definitive. And the thing that's really, really, really turned me off of Age of Empires Definitive, but apparently not many of the others in our Discord group, but the thing that really turned me off is that it is Windows 10 only and Windows Store only. And for me, that is just such a game changer. I just don't want that. Now, granted, my reasoning is pretty poor because I am an achievement whore. Many of you will know this. It's a colloquial term, and it means a person who plays a game and becomes addicted to achieving the game's arbitrary goals. And by that, I mean these goals mean nothing in real life. They are just assigned by the team members for reasonable points throughout the game. And I am a kind of person that would hunt down these achievements and attempt to achieve 100%. However, I like all of my achievements to be in the same place, and Steam gathers all of these achievements quite nicely into one location. If I am to use the Windows Store, I would have achievements in different places, and this devalues the achievements for me and makes them totally useless. But also, I just don't want to support the Windows Store. They tried and failed with games for Windows Live, and it was rubbish. And now they're trying to integrate Xbox and PC together, which again, I'm not a fan of. Maybe because I no longer have an Xbox, maybe if you have an Xbox and a PC. But then that's the thing that, like, a good gaming PC can do everything an Xbox or a PlayStation 4 can do, and then some. So, why would you want to have both? I don't get it. Apart from for the exclusives, if you're such a gamer that you have to play certain games, and they're exclusive to, say, the PlayStation 4, then you get a PlayStation 4 just for that game. Much like basically at the moment, the only real reason, forgive me, die-hard Nintendo fans, but from what I can understand, the only real reason to buy a Nintendo Switch at the moment is because you might really like an open-world Zelda game. And so it's that kind of thing. These people buy an Xbox because it does a certain game. So they basically bought a £400 game, or however much an Xbox is. Because a computer will do almost everything that an Xbox will do, and as I say, and then some. So I'm not really all that bothered about linking an Xbox and games, and I don't know, I'm just not all that much of a fan. I don't want to support Windows in that way. Also, why? There must be some sort of legal issue behind the scenes that I'm not too sure on, because why would they not give this definitive treatment to Age of Empires 2, which is by far the most popular Age of Empires game to date? It still has a thriving community even now, and indeed an HD remake. Now maybe they've come at it not from they can't do it XYZ because of legal reasons, and maybe they've come at it purely from there's already an HD remake which will keep people tied over for now. We'll come to that later, so let's shock them all with Age of Empires 1. But I don't think Age of Empires 1 has such a massive following. There's some really key strategic differences between 1 and 2. There are no gates in Age of Empires 1. You cannot garrison villagers in Age of Empires 1. There are no army... what do I mean? There are no formations. So you can't set your units to square mode, or to like long and thin, or to protect a unit in the center, or anything like that. Everything just moves around in a massive group. So there are some key reasons why Age of Empires 2 was always preferred to Age of Empires 1, and it just seems baffling to me that they would go for Age of Empires 1. Right, I sped it up there because I realised I've just been nattering away for some time, and we're not even in battle yet. Our archers are talking a lot at us, though. They've got quite a few archers themselves, haven't they? Alright, cavalry, let's go and show Umbar the only thing that Gondor does better than them. Cavalry. Why are they being so... Why are they holding back so much? Are these really all archers? Oh no, there's pikes in there. There are pikes. They've made a pike wall, in fact. What are they doing? Ugh, don't you hate it when the AI just makes no sense? Are they sitting out there and waiting for their reinforcements to arrive, do you think? You are the elite forces of Gondor, and you're going to smash this enemy. Oh, that was in time. Well, fire all the arrows you can. We're doing better than them on the arrow front. You there, Gondor cavalry. Some raiders over there I'd like you to make an acquaintance with. Oh, I've charged them into pikemen, that was a stupid idea. Are they narrow and arrow royal guard? Yeah, they are, Jesus. Those cavalry are not going to do anything. That was a bad idea. Oh, I don't know. They're going to flank them. Good charge, men. Good charge. Pull out immediately. I had another one of these. They're running over there. The other one. Good charge. Now pull back. Now, of course, in version 2, Umbar do get a heavy elite cavalry unit. You'll all be pleased to hear. So it is no longer just Gondor that can give cavalry. Where's the other cavalry unit? There. Give them a little surprise as they chase our cavalry down. Pull out, pull out, pull out, pull out, pull out! Yeah! Who's that over there? Corsair Raiders. There you go, go and hit them. No, there's Corsair Pikemen over there. Just run over there and wait. I'll call you up in a moment. We're probably going to lose quite a lot of archers, actually, because they seem to have an awful lot of archers themselves. You can fit in that gap. Don't be so stupid. We've lost quite a lot of archers, haven't we? Oh, dear. But they did hit us as expected. I just hate it when the AI just doesn't do what they're told. We are going to massacre them in this battle. So they've decided to actually finally grow ahead and decide to play the game like with some form of sense. Like, why can't they just be crap all the time? Because then at least you know what you're bloody well dealing with. Now they're going to flee over there. Ugh. Move around, gentlemen. We have some fools to catch. Oh, you're chasing my cavalry down. Right, yeah. So, see, in one area they're being absolutely retarded, if you'll pardon my very un-PC word, by sending an entire dispatchment to chase down cavalry. You're never going to get them, are you? Attack me and die already, you stupid bastards. There's some Corsair Raiders you can hit. You can hit the narrow and arrow. Those poor pikemen trying to block us in. You're never going to do it. I don't know why I'm taking such fault with the AI today. Perhaps it's the heat. Just want them to do as they're told. With the announcement in the Total War Center threads, I posted my thoughts, adapted from El Monstero's original thoughts. I then amended them to my own thoughts of how the new Garrison script would work. And this was met, as ever, with a few people commenting about how Garrison script should be removed entirely. And I and Hummingbird have always been massively in favour of not removing Garrison scripts entirely. Number one, because the AI, I appreciate that the biggest downside of a Garrison script is that the AI cannot prepare for it. So the AI will attack a city that has like 3 units in it, so they'll send 4 units because they'll think that'll be enough, and then suddenly 10 units will pop up out of nowhere, their army will be crushed, this cycles and repeats, and the AI is at a huge disadvantage. Yes, but additionally, the AI without the Garrison script do not prioritise certain towns, and they lose all the time. Without a Garrison script, the AI is not a challenge at all, because they don't prioritise defending their towns. So the Garrison is very much a necessity. Oh, our general's up against pikemen, get rid of that. So the Garrison script is staying, no matter what you think of it. But additionally, there was a call for the Garrison script to be removed for the human. There's a call that says that a human player does not need a Garrison script. It's a huge cheat for them. Get rid of it. But what I would say to those people that always complain about that is, for you, the game may be very, very easy, and you absolutely hate the Garrison script. It totally ruins the game for you. There's no challenge in the game anymore. Blah, 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 blah. But of course, you've got to remember that you're not the only person playing the game, and there's a great deal of people who do struggle. And for those people, the Garrison is core to their strategy. It's practically the only way they can stay alive. So we have to meet the needs of both. Which is why the new idea to tie the Garrison script to a certain building that is to be built in order to get to the Garrison is a much better way to handle it. Because, of course, we can pre-build this building in the towns that the AI will need a Garrison. And a human player, if they despise the Garrison script so much, can just not build the building. Yes, I'm going to move law bonuses to the building, but they will be relatively small, and you'll still be able to maintain a high level of public order with happiness bonuses, health bonuses, and garrisons. The lore bonus moving to this building is more just for a role-playing aspect, if you will, in that the building would likely have a lore boost tied to it. So it's not going to affect the game too much, other than allow people who don't like garrisons to not build garrisons, and for people who do like garrisons to prioritize the garrison. Excuse me, sorry. Additionally, the next lore video, by the way, also something to discuss, will not be about Beren and Luthien. And this is twofold. First and foremost, I personally don't find the Beren and Luthien story really very entertaining at all. In fact, I think it's very dull. They defy all the odds, left, right and centre, non-stop, and it's more of just a... I don't know. I know it's a closely linked to Tolkien, the Beren and Luthien story. I mean, it's written on his grave. And it's worked... It's been clearly worked on for a great deal of time, and names changing all over the place as the story evolved. So I appreciate that it's an important story, but because it's such an important story, it's then also been done to death. So I may well revisit it way down the line, but mostly the chief reason is that I just don't find it very interesting. And so I don't really want to do it. Also, I haven't really paid attention, but I think Umbar are forcing a retreat. I think they're running away. Because this general's bodyguard unit isn't actually routing, but is running away from me. Which is stupid, because then they're going to lose the city and the battle. Although our Pinnith-Gellens, our cavalry, will, if we actually catch this army to stop and fight, they'll murder us. Are you all stopping and fighting? Yes! We lost 314 and we killed 3,000. 3,600 and something. It's mental. Basically every single man that we lost, we killed 10 of their number. That's maddening. That's what Gondor can do. 268. 327. Gondor cavalry, no surprises there. If it's not archers, it's always cavalry. Yeah, well, 327. Well done, sirs. There's a Nazgul outside of Minas Morgul. Or possibly Kharndom. But no, it'd be more Witch King based. But then that could be the Witch King, who knows? He's got a very fancy sword. Kill them all. Oh, Chelkar got an armsman's guild. Yes, please.
Protect the blood of Numenor.
Alrighty, our army is pretty much back. We're taking, in case they've got a town. How much room have you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes. Let us set up camp here.
3 turns, hell no. I don't need 2 of you though, so just disband. Most advanced faction, thank you. Construction report, Kisilcum has built mines. Kisilcum is currently our holding station. Build a school. Karasast has built a market. Full things. Our money's quite low. Is that because we've got buildings going on? Yeah, I think so. Oh look, we've got an army in Osgiliath as well. Don't even know what I'm doing with that army. It's probably going to be the last one that we train, to be honest. Don't really have much need for many armies now.
Onward! Maintain order! March, men!
Find the border, men, and prepare to build towers.
Maintain order! Onward!
Because Dor Norhak will fall in 2 turns.
Orders. By your command.
Ah, the forces of Rune. We welcome them at our gate. Oh, we can't fight here, can we? The Black Gate is a broken battle map in this version. So if Rune do attack me, I'm afraid I'm going to auto-resolve it. My apologies. Ah, yeah, we have an army heading south, don't we? Oh, look at that. The men of Dol Amroth. Stand ready. You're heading south as well, apparently.
Let us set up camp here.
So we've got that army. We've got the army over here, which will be led by one of these 3. Ah, we are still finding An Caragmir though.
Marchmen! Onward!
Does this road just go to Umbar? No, that's way too low. But then I feel like we've passed where An Caragmir is.
Marchmen!
Oh,
Let
screw
us
it.
set up camp here.
I'm cheating. I know some people don't like that, so advance warning. Oh, it's miles away. It's all the way up there. Oh, and Dol Amroth got Ramlond. Well done. So Khan took An Caragmir, but they're avoiding Crukboyadla, Crukmaher, Korondash, and Amrun. Oh, it looks nice when you turn off the fog of war, all that white. Should have a little look around the world then? Go on then. Rune are strong, but they're not outright winning. That's interesting. And Dorwinion aren't even dead. They've still got Othelbed. Dale aren't dead. Erebor are pressing in. The Misty Mountains aren't even dead, but Angmar are dead. Angmar and Isengard seem to be the only two that have gone. Dunland are down to only 2 though, but Enedwythe is still a mighty beast, and of course we're still allied to them. Ah, so the inevitable will soon be upon us, I think, when Rohan defeats Dunland, goes to war with Enedwythe, and we're forced to choose. In the north, it's all very stalematy. The dwarves have met each other at Litash and Kandum. But the Misty Mountains are holding on, which is interesting. Imladris down to Imladris and Anon and Orod. And Khazad-dûm are pressing out into Dunland as well. They've got Ostinethiel and they've got Byrick. But Dol Guldur are also being defeated. The Woodland Realm have taken Roscommon. Oh dear. So it's actually pretty damn even. The only real problem will come when Rohan attacks Enedwythe. But other than that, no, I can't really see... I think the strength of Rune, but then Rune aren't actually as strong as I thought they would be. I thought they'd be all-powerful by now. Defeated Dale, defeated Erebor. But it's not to be. We are to end turn. Only 120 turns in, and we are a mere few turns away from victory. However, this episode is not going to be the last one. Also because I would rather the last one was the second one of the 5-day rotation. Because otherwise I've got 2 days to fill. What are you up against? Oh dear.
Retreat!
Oh wow, you retreated very far. So I imagine the next episode will likely be the last one. And what I might well do, because the next episode I'll have way more time to record because it'll be on a Sunday, is I record it on a Sunday, is I may well make it an hour long regardless of... basically I'll just play it till we win it, is what I think I'll do. Ah, Ithring is ready to upgrade. But as requested, some people have said they'd like to see what Osgiliath looks like rebuilt, but in version 2, Osgiliath looks totally different to what it will look like in this version. Khazad-dûm and Imladris are allies. Breland and Linden are now at war with all the evils. That's interesting. Umbar are still gathering troops to do that final move on us.
Maintain order! Forward!
Protect the blood of Numenor.
Protect the blood of Numenor. Now, the army that we will sail to the Isle of Tolflas will then sail on and probably assist on the northern side of the river so that we'll really catch them. So General Caruion and Caragmir is way too bulked up, so if you head back for Finabel as well.
Let us set up camp here.
Oh, maybe Dol Amroth will come for Finabel. We'll see, we'll see. But then we've got that army standing by, and we've got a ship built in the Harlond, the Southern Haven. Interestingly, or not that interestingly, because they're both Sindarian, so you'd expect it. But Harlond in Linden means Southern Haven, and the port of Minas Tirith is also called Harlond because it means Southern Haven. Ah, well there you go. You're going to get an interesting battle against Dol Guldur to end the video today. Against Chieftain Huamrath of Deer. See how flawlessly I pronounced that? I shouldn't say that, because now 1,000,001 people will be like, you didn't say it flawlessly though, did you? Cynical! Let us not be. I thoroughly enjoyed my time in Naples, but what I would say to you, all of you would-be Naples goers, is don't go to Naples. Go instead to the surrounding area. Maybe even, I wouldn't say Pompeii, the modern town of, because it would probably be very expensive. But Sorrento is very nice, equally very expensive. Capri was quite nice. But Naples itself is unfortunately a rather industrial town, and it's a bit Oh, I don't want to use the word that I'm thinking, because that's terribly bad-mannered, but it's a bit run down, should we say. There are quite a few boarded-up buildings, a lot of buildings that could do with some repair. But the area around Naples is delightful. Just Naples itself. But then that, as I say, is because it's a working, active city with a major industrial port. If I'm not mistaken, it's one of Italy's largest commercial ports, I believe. So you can understand why it would be a little busy, dirty. I just wasn't expecting it, is all. The other places in Italia that I have visited are Rome, Florence, and Venice. But unfortunately, I was too young to really remember Venice, so I can't give you anything about that. And Florence and Rome were both very, very nice. Archers standing by. You group all together in that. For the glory of Gondor. You men, who are all going to be our aggression. Now, what we do need to ensure that we do here, because remember that trolls don't take additional damage from spears or pikes. But they do take extra damage from cavalry charges, armor piercing, and arrow fire. Well, not additional damage from arrow fire, but they are reasonably susceptible to arrow fire. So, we will get up, because the trolls are the ones that have attacked us here, and then Hormrath's coming in from somewhere. The left, I think. We might be in a really bad position. No, it's alright. We'll just swing around. So, if every archer could please fire as many volleys as humanly possible into those trolls for now. There's our... speaking of archers, Hummingbird has finally cracked it. If we look at these Athelian Rangers, you'll note that they have an arrow knocked into the bow, and they fire an arrow. This is true of all of our archers for Gondor. But any new archer that Hummingbird has since created did not have the arrow animation, because you need to do it for every single model you ever create. So even if you're just doing an upgrade skin, so the unit goes from having no plate mail to having plate mail, for example, that unit will still use a different kind of skeleton and will need arrows added. And Hummingbird has learnt how to do this. So every archer that you may play with in the game at the moment in version 1.2 that doesn't have a knockable arrow will have one in version 2. Also, absolutely wonderfully, every troll has been killed. Hormarath, you were too slow. Your men have paid for that. No, this is probably a good place to go. Dun 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 dun. Move these best units down to the flank there, so you can all flank around. Move the main line in front of the archers now. And the cavalry kill that general. There he is. They should be able to get him while our army repositions. Who's that coming around the side? Oh, there we are, he's dead. Cavalry! Oh, I'm pressing wrong buttons. You're all going to run up here, please. Archers, you are free to fire at will. You guys go along there. Actually, take these people with you as well. So, you three. Just kind of go like that. The White City will prevail. Alright, we're ready for you, Hormarath. Hormarath is the only unit in the army that is coming that we are actually concerned about, because he has very powerful bodyguards. Speaking of powerful bodyguards, it was brought to my attention earlier today, and it's something that we already kind of knew but has been re-highlighted, is that the Nazgul bodyguard make the Mordor campaign outrageously easy. Obviously, we've nerfed almost game-wide, we've nerfed all cavalry bodyguards, but what we failed to nerf quite substantially is the Mordor cavalry bodyguard. Now, up until now, I am stupidly, and I'm sorry to all those who play Mordor, and highlighting why we shouldn't get paid money for this, because we've missed glaringly obvious things. Up until now, I've always thought of Mordor from a Gondorian perspective. So you are the player against Mordor. I have never really thought of Mordor from a player's perspective. Ergo, I didn't really think about how unbelievably simple the campaign for Mordor would be, because you get 7 outrageously powerful bodyguard units that not only do they respawn just generally, so you fight with 20 cavalry men in each battalion, for example, you go to battle, 10 of them die, in 5 more turns those 10 will have replenished. But additionally, of course, Nazgul are immortal, they respawn whenever they die, so this unit was just never ending. And I just never really thought about that. And it is a huge factor in why Gondor's campaign, or Mordor's campaign, sorry, is arguably the easiest in the game. Now, Mordor's campaign, of course, should be one of the easier ones. As I tried to explain, and was someone in the comments didn't really grasp this, Gondor are supposed to die if nobody helps them. A key aspect of the books, and even indeed in the films, they add the emphasis in the films, is that if Gondor was not aided by both Rohan and Aragorn in the Black Ships with the Army of the Dead, they would have lost the Battle of the Pelennor Fields. They were hopelessly outnumbered. It would have been a massacre. Now, they probably would have fought very, very well, killed a lot of Sauron's army, but they would have lost. And with the fall of Minas Tirith, and that was basically all the troops Gondor could muster, save for, of course, those with Angbor guarding the crossings of the Anduin, they would have died. And with Minas Tirith down, as I say, their army would have died, and Gondor would have fallen shortly thereafter. So a key point of the campaign for anyone else is that Gondor will likely die unless you go and save them. So therefore, by extension, the Mordor campaign is kind of easy.
Only half the enemy force remains.
Because Gondor put up very, very little fight on their own. But of course that's a bit wrong, because then it means that Mordor's campaign is easy, ergo boring. So that needs to be addressed, really. So this is a very, very long way of me floating the idea of how would you feel if the Nazgul instead had the dismounted version of the Black Númenóreans, and the cavalry version then went into the Black Tower, and they were the recruitable, trainable unit. So the Nazgul bodyguard would be a really powerful yet foot infantry unit, and you would be able to train the cavalry from the Black Tower. I would very much like to hear your thoughts on that, because it's a very, very, very simple yet incredibly effective way of making the Mordor campaign harder. We are also planning on making some major tweaks to who get what garrison units. So if you are playing as Mordor, you're going to get far fewer garrisons. If you are playing as Gondor, fewer garrisons in your towns, things like that. Because at the minute they're a bit ridiculous. But that's tied in with the garrison changes that we already plan anyway. Now I need to hurry up and finish this, as my dinner is already ready. Someone will be banging on my door any minute. So with the garrison changes that we plan anyway, that will affect certain key settlements will lose garrisons. It's been highlighted mostly by Orc Lover, which is one of our best testers, one of our more alternative testers, it must be said. Part of the reason, Orc Lover, if you're listening, why I did select you is because you do have a really out there opinion, and it's very, very interesting to see and read the kind of ideas and thoughts you have. 43. We lost 43 and we killed 885. 155 Gondor infantry. Well done there, men. Jesus, yeah. How did you kill so many? But anyway, it was pointed out that the garrisons that Mordor get in Minas Morgul just make it so easy. Because of the problem with garrisons, in that you might get 9 garrison troops or something, for example, for argument's sake. But the AI will only see the 3 units you've got in the town. So they'll send 4 units. Those 4 units will get immediately massacred. And then they'll do it again the next time because they again can't see the garrison. So it is a problem, but it will not be changed. But with the changes to you having to build your own garrison building, it will be at least addressed to some extent. But that is all I'm going to have to say for today. I'm afraid I'm going to have to wrap up there, as it is time for me to depart. So I will just say, though, that this probably will now not be this coming Saturday, but hopefully next Saturday. I apologise. I hope to do a multiplayer Reforged battle to highlight the changes to the latest version of Reforged, send a peace branch to our competition, as it were, and also just to show a multiplayer battle. It should be a good laugh, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it on this coming Saturday, as I want to give you a real reason, like I'm out, I'm exploring, I'm adventuring, I'm spending time with my family, but really I forgot, and now I've made other plans. So that might be a week delay, but that will be one of these days. But I still am considering what will take the final slot. Were I to continue playing Age of Empires, or had I played a bit more Age of Empires, I'd do a couple of Age of Empires videos to tide us over, but I haven't played in forever owing to Guild Wars. But anyway, that's all by the by. I'm really late now, so I shall have to depart. So thank you very much for watching, if indeed you have. Feel free to post any comments you wish down below. If you want to rejoin our Discord group, you can find it through Steam, Brotherhood of the Swan. You can get the link there now. But I do ask that you remain active. And, of course, our guild is going very strong on Guild Wars if you want to come and join the Order of the Swan there as well. But until we speak again, dear friends, ne varne den per mad melonin, e ciao.